Welcome back to DFC Books. Today, we are really diving deep into Gianluca Gotto's novel, La Pura Vida. And our mission, well, it's pretty focused. We're going chapter by chapter, really dissecting this thing. We're tracking the characters, especially Alessio, and the big philosophical shifts, watching him go from this super anxious guy in Milan.
Totally overwhelmed.
Exactly. To someone suddenly embracing spontaneity, living life in Costa Rica. This isn't just a plot summary, okay?
Yeah.
We're digging out the knowledge, the life lessons packed into his transformation.
And it's a huge transformation, right? But it's really driven by fear. Two kinds, actually.
Yeah.
So at first you think, okay, this guy Alessio, he's terrified of dying. There's family history. This health scare pops up.
Yeah.
Classic setup.
Right. Makes sense.
But the deeper fear, the one that's really got him pinned down, it's the fear of actually properly living.
Ah, okay. The paradox.
Exactly. So that trip to Costa Rica, it's less about the place, the geography, and much more about him battling his own internal script. Can he break free?
So let's introduce the main players here, because they're crucial to this whole conflict. First up, obviously, Alessio, our anxious observer.
Good label.
Yeah, he's 30, works as a copywriter, super observant, maybe too sensitive, and just completely stuck inside his own head. Brilliant mind, but it's kind of working against him.
Totally. Then you've got Elena. She's the catalyst.
Okay.
She's a graphic designer at the same place. She gives him that initial spark, that connection. She sees his potential, but also she holds up a mirror to his inaction, his paralysis.
And she acts first, right, which kind of forces his hand.
Exactly. She makes her move, and it leaves him with a choice. Follow suit or just stay stuck.
And the third key figure.
Giovanni.
Yeah.
The office cynic, the tough love philosopher.
I like that.
Yeah, he's got this brutal honesty, but it's weirdly uplifting. He hits Alessio with these philosophical truths, kind of smashes down his defenses. He gives him the intellectual permission almost to try and escape.
Okay, Alessio, Elena, Giovanni. Got it. That sets the stage perfectly.
Right.
So let's kick things off where the story and all that anxiety begins. Milan. Alessio's world is this big corporate office building. They call it the anthill.
Apt name.
Yeah.
20 stories of just chaos.
Right. And he's this introverted copywriter just watching everyone else scurry around. He's turning 30. And the big question haunting him, the thing keeping him up at night, is basically, do I think too much? Is that my problem?
And that's his whole identity crisis right there, isn't it? His introversion isn't just like a personality trait. It's a cage.
Yeah.
He's so observant, picks up on everything, feels everything. But it means he lives entirely internally, analyzing, not doing.
And we see this perfectly in that lunch scene with Elena, right? Early on.
Chapter 1 implied. She pulls up this personality test on her phone, just casual.
And asks him that killer question. Do you consider yourself a person who thinks too much, yes or no?
And Alessio just freezes. It's the question of his life, and Elena, she sees him struggling and just taps yes for him. She gets it.
She sees the truth.
Yeah.
He keeps trying to rationalize away.
Yeah. And the results, they're like this double-edged sword. They nail him. Introvert, lives in his head, brilliant observer, super empathetic, sensitive. It's him.
Sounds pretty good so far.
But then comes the kicker. He could live a more gratifying life, if only.
Oof, if only.
Yeah. Those 3 words just hang there. All this potential. Gonna waste.
And that leads straight into the regret conversation, doesn't it? Elena pushes him a bit.
She does. Alessio admits it. He's always regretting things he didn't do, roads not taken.
And Elena.
She turns it right back on him. A little foreshadowing. She says something like, well, she doesn't have regrets yet, but she definitely will. If I stay here in Milan too long.
Boom. First little seed of change planted right there.
Definitely. Then we get into chapter 2, the office vibe. The stress is just thick in the air.
Alessio comes back from vacation, right? And the whole team's freaking out.
Yep. Turns out their manager, Sergio, in the book paints this great picture of him. Weak handshake, perfect tan, always worried.
Huh, yeah. The perfect corporate drone look.
Basically. Well, he might get transferred because upper management thinks he lacks authority.
So his anxiety just trickles down to everyone else. Paolo, Alessia. The whole team feels unstable.
It shows you, in the anthill, job security is kind of an illusion. Instability is the norm.
And that pressure cooker environment is exactly why Giovanni's philosophy hits so hard.
Oh, absolutely. Giovanni isn't just whining. He's giving Alessio this weird blend of stoicism and, like, Fight Club rebellion.
Right. When everyone's panicking about Sergio, Giovanni steps in. What's the quote he uses?
From Epictetus. It's not events that ruin us, but our judgment of them.
Classic stoic defense mechanism. Don't let things get to you.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Giovanni's take is like, if life screws you, just smile, almost enjoy it, because then misfortune loses its power over you. He even drops that Fight Club line about us just pulling levers till we die.
He's basically saying this whole corporate game is a slow death, and the stress is self-inflicted torture.
Exactly. And this feeds right back into how Alessio sees the world. Amidst all this big office drama, Alessio says he gives disproportionate importance to tiny things.
Like gestures, glances, coincidences.
Yeah. He's constantly decoding these subtle signals, but when it comes to the big emotional stuff, the obvious things, he's completely paralyzed. Can't act.
And then that general anxiety becomes very specific, very physical. Chapters 4 and 6, the dermatologist visit.
The mole mapping. It's routine for him because of his family history, skin cancer.
And the doctor finds something.
Yeah. A suspicious mole on his back. Described really vividly, cactus-shaped, light brown.
That detail makes it so real, doesn't it? Takes the fear from abstract to concrete.
Instantly. The second cancer is mentioned. Boom. Full-blown panic attack. He describes it physically. Hands tingling, can't breathe right, the lights seem too bright.
It's not just worry, it's his whole system shutting down.
And his coping mechanism, it's extreme.
Right, he isolates himself completely, skips lunch.
Runs almost 20 kilometers, like a stress test, trying to prove his body's okay.
And then the doom scrolling. Looking up tragic news online, accidents, suicides.
He's practically bathing in mortality, pushing his own panic to the limit. It seems self-destructive.
But it makes sense when you understand the root cause, the flashback.
Yeah.
The trauma from when he was a teenager.
Yeah. 16 years old. His mother collapses, eyes roll back, looks dead, as he describes it. Then the diagnosis, terminal skin cancer.
And that just shattered his world.
Completely. His normal teenage life, soccer, friends, girls, it just stopped. He became her caregiver. Medicines, needs, emotional support. The whole weight fell on him.
And the vow he made?
Never to cry. That's the moment the wall inside went up. He suppressed everything, took on this adult burden, became that impassive observer.
So this mole scare now, it's not just about the mole. It's like 16-year-old Alessio is back, terrified and alone all over again.
Precisely. Which sets up Giovanni's big moment, chapters 7 and 9.
And Giovanni sees him spiraling, right?
Yeah.
Doing all that pointless medical searching online.
Yeah, but Giovanni doesn't judge. He offers real support, which kind of catches Alessio off guard. And then he drops the bomb. The diagnosis.
What does he say?
You are not afraid to die. You are afraid of not having lived.
Wow. That just cuts right through everything, doesn't it?
It's the absolute turning point, and it leads directly into that brilliant metaphor.
The yogurt paradox. Yes, let's unpack that. It's such a great way to explain modern apathy.
It really is. Giovanni explains how our adult lives are basically run by things with hard deadlines. Bills need paying by the 15th. Work projects are due Friday.
The yogurt in the fridge expires tomorrow.
Exactly. These things scream for attention because they have a clear consequence if you ignore them. They rise to the top of the list.
Okay, makes sense.
But the other stuff, the big dreams, the personal projects, the chances for real change, they don't have expiration dates. They don't rot.
So they just sink to the bottom. Never urgent.
Right. And that's the absurdity. We meticulously manage the shelf life of our groceries while letting our deepest aspirations quietly expire. We keep the yogurt fresh, but our dreams get stale.
That is depressingly accurate.
Isn't it? And right on cue, almost like the universe is listening, a real opportunity for change walks by. Alessio sees Elena crying on the office terrace.
She's clearly unhappy too.
Yep. And soon after, she announces it to the team. She's leaving. 6 months in Thailand. Yoga course on Koh Phangan. She's choosing action. She's escaping the anthill.
And this is Alessio's moment, isn't it? His chance.
His big chance. He feels it. He wants to say something, ask her out, change things between them. The impulse is there. The wall, it holds. He stays immobile and silent, frustrated and disappointed. That wall inside keeps him impassible on the outside.
He just lets her walk away. Misses the opportunity, not just with her, but to prove to himself he can act.
Exactly. He fails the test. And it's a painful failure.
Okay, so Alessio's basically hit rock bottom emotionally. Fear, trauma, regret, inaction. Where does he possibly find the spark to actually do something?
Well, part 2 kicks off with a really important confrontation. Not with someone else, but with a future version of himself almost. Chapter 10. He visits his dad.
His widowed father in Turin. The silent one.
Yeah, the relationship is super formal, distant. You can feel the unexpressed grief hanging between them. And Alessio has this terrifying realization.
What's that?
He sees he's becoming exactly like his father, a rock closed in on himself, just hardened by trauma and silence.
He sees his own potential future, and it scares him more than changing.
Precisely. The fear of stagnation finally outweighs the fear of the unknown, and this pushes him to look backward, in a way.
How so?
Remember his doctor mentioned his daughter had a bucket list? That prompts Alessio to dig through his old stuff, old notebooks from when he was a teenager.
And he finds something.
He finds it, a sheet of paper, 2 words, big capital letters. Memento mori.
Remember, you must die.
Yeah, but when he wrote it as a teen, it wasn't supposed to be morbid. It was his list of dreams, things he wanted to do before life got complicated.
Before his mom got sick.
Exactly. He wrote it while waiting to hear about an exchange program to Costa Rica, a program he ultimately missed because of everything that happened. So it's literally a list of his unlived life.
And the phrase itself, memento mori, has that historical weight too, right? Reminding generals of mortality, reminding the unjust.
For Alessio, it becomes this urgent command. Death is coming anyway, so you have to go with honor. You have to live.
So the internal shift is happening. And then comes the external trigger resolution in Chapter 11, the biopsy results.
Yep. He's on the office terrace again, gets the call, the mole, benign.
Huge relief, obviously. But his reaction is interesting.
It is. No tears of relief. Instead, he just smiles. An uncontrollable smile. He consciously decides to ride that wave of primal fear of dying he just faced, using the adrenaline to finally feel properly alive.
Wow. And Giovanni's there again.
Right there. To hammer the point home. He tells Alessio, basically, okay, the fear of dying, that's past. But the fear of living, that remains. And that's the one you have to confront now.
It's not advice anymore. It's a direct challenge.
And Alessio takes it, which leads to this incredible moment of spontaneous action in a crisis meeting, no less.
Right. With the executive, Franchi, the team's results are scadenti poor.
Yeah, high pressure. Franchi puts Alessio on the spot. Give me an innovative slogan for a sports car.
And Alessio.
He looks down, sees his list, memento mori, and without even thinking, he just shouts it out as the campaign idea.
And bold.
What works. Professionally, it's a win, but personally, it's the breakthrough. He realizes he has to act spontaneously. Just do it.
And this is where he makes the big move.
Seems like it. The book implies he quits his job right then or very soon after, smashes the yogurt paradox for good, and books a ticket.
Not just anywhere.
Nope. Solo trip to Costa Rica, specifically to the place where that teenage exchange program was supposed to happen. The first dream he lost, he's going back to reclaim it.
There's still Lena. His past relationship isn't quite done with him. Chapter 13, the email.
Ah, yeah. The email he gets while he's literally on the plane flying towards this new life. It's brutal, but necessary. It's the final word from her.
And she uses that incredible metaphor, right? The river metaphor.
It's stunning. She describes standing in this jungle river, sacred place. Water's cold, clear. She's half in, half out on the bank, scared to dive all the way in.
And she connects that to him.
And directly, she says, essentially, that's you, Alessio. That's us. You were immersed in me, but only halfway. You stopped right there on the edge.
Ouch. That's a direct hit on his fear of commitment, his inability to go all in.
Absolutely. And she doesn't pull any punches. She tells him straight. She's met someone new in Thailand. She needs to move on. Don't reply, she says.
Wow. Closure. Forceful closure.
And she delivers one last painful truth. We suffer more for the things we don't live, the perfect dreams we never tried, than for the messy, imperfect things we actually did.
Because the unlived stuff stays perfect in our heads, untarnished by reality.
Exactly. The song she mentions, Chris Cornell's Long Gone, becomes his sort of reluctant theme song for letting go. The door to that past is slammed shut. He has to move forward now. The slate is clean, maybe violently clean, but clean nonetheless. So, Alessio lands. Porto Viejo. It's 1,000,000 miles away from Milan, not just geographically, but culturally, spiritually. He's totally alone, completely disoriented.
But you have that mission now, right?
Yeah.
Don't think.
That's his mantra. Commit to action, even if it feels weird or scary. Just do it.
And who's the first person he really connects with there?
Maria, the owner of the place he's staying. And she's the total opposite of the Milan office vibe.
So?
She's warm, motherly, asks him really direct personal questions, like straight up asks if he's heartbroken.
Whoa. No beating around the bush?
None. She talks about confianza, trust, and just tells him simply enjoy this vacation. It's this immediate dose of humanity, of realness that he probably hasn't felt since he was a kid.
Okay, so he's starting to feel a different energy, and then comes the tattoo. A big symbolic moment.
Huge. He decides he needs something permanent. A physical reminder of this change he's trying to make.
So he finds a tattoo artist.
Yeah, a Johnny, a Rastafarian guy. Alessio initially asks for memento mori.
Makes sense given the list.
Yeah.
But a Johnny says no.
Right. A Johnny explains his Rastafari faith means avoiding symbols of death, cemeteries. The focus has to be on life.
So Alessio has to pivot.
He does, and he chooses Pura Vida.
The local philosophy itself, where does he get it placed?
On his sternum, right over his heart, the exact spot where Elena had touched him once, pointing out his closed heart chakra.
Wow, that's loaded with meaning.
Totally. He shaves his head, too. First tattoo ever. It's a full-on rebirth ritual he's creating for himself, literally branding this new philosophy onto the site of his old emotional blockage.
Okay, so he's marked himself. Now he needs to actually understand what Pura Vida means, right? Chapters 25, 26.
Exactly. His mission becomes study Pura Vida. And this forces him into another uncomfortable situation, a beach party.
Why is that uncomfortable?
Because it triggers another old trauma. 15 years ago, he tried to dance at a party and got totally humiliated, publicly. It cemented this deep fear of judgment, of looking foolish.
Ah, so going to this party, potentially dancing, it's confronting that specific fear head on.
Precisely. Using the philosophy to drive the action. And there, he meets Sophia and Hector, a local couple, Ticos.
And Sophia helps him define Pura Vida.
She does. She explains it's not just about, being happy-go-lucky. It's deeper. It involves humility, sharing, empathy, and crucially, living with passion.
Passion. That becomes the second pillar of his philosophy later, right?
Bingo. And Sophia doesn't just talk about it, she gets him to do it. She teaches him to dance.
How does she teach him? Is it complicated steps?
No, that's the key. She tells him to stop thinking about the steps, stop analyzing. Instead, feel the drums. Listen with your feet, your hips, your shoulders, your heart.
For Alessio, the ultimate overthinker, that's going to be revolutionary. Shifting from head to body.
Monumental. And he does it. He actually dances. And in doing so, he doesn't just learn a few steps. He erases 15 years of shame and regret tied to that teenage humiliation.
He checks another item off the list. Learn to dance.
Item 2, gone. A real victory.
So the transformation is gaining momentum. What other pillars start to emerge around chapters 27, 28?
The next big one is lentezza. Slowness.
How does he encounter that?
He's leaving Puerto Viejo, gets stuck in traffic, but it's not Milan traffic, it's relaxed, unhurried, and he sees this guy just watching a sloth, a bradipo.
The ultimate symbol of slow living.
Right. And the guy explains it. The sloth survives by minimizing effort, moving incredibly slowly, conserving energy. It's a living, breathing challenge to Alessio's entire stressed-out, frantic Milanese existence.
Slowness over speed.
Yeah.
Less effort might actually be more efficient.
It becomes his third pillar. And this realization immediately translates into practical action again.
And what does he do?
Quit smoking. Item 5 on the list. Just like that. Spontaneously. He realizes he only smoked because of stress, the stress rooted in his old trauma. He actually hated it.
Wow. The slowness lets him see the simplicity.
Exactly. And he notices that simplicity everywhere in the culture. Like, Ticos don't get bogged down in complex definitions. Why is a local restaurant called a soda? They don't know, don't care. It just is. They prioritize function, feeling, the visceral, not endless analysis.
So passion, slowness, simplicity. The core tenets are starting to build.
Okay, Alessio's journey continues. He's heading towards Monteverde, but naturally, his car breaks down.
Of course it does. Another obstacle, another potential lesson.
You got it. He gets rescued by Alessandro, another Italian guy, an expat living the dream in Manuel Antonio, with his wife, Marta.
So Alessandro is like Alessio 2.0, someone who actually made the leap he's attempting.
Pretty much. Former high-flying finance guy, traded the stress for the jungle, and he shares the story that pushed him over the edge.
The fisherman's story. Chapter 32, 34 territory. It's a classic, but hearing it from someone who lived the alternative must hit differently.
Totally. Alessandro tells it with real weight. You know the one. Rich businessman sees a fisherman relaxing, only working a few hours.
And the businessman gives him this whole lecture, right? Work harder, buy more boats, build an empire.
Yeah, lays out this whole 20-year plan. Get rich, sell the company, and then you can finally retire to an island paradise, spend time with your children, make love to your wife, relax.
And the fisherman just says,
But I'm already doing all of that now.
Perfect irony. It just exposes the insanity of delaying happiness.
Exactly. And Alessandro and Marta explicitly name the alternative Survival mode. That's what Alessio was living in Milan. Just enduring, putting up with responsibilities, always sacrificing today for some mythical tomorrow that might never come.
While Pura Vida is about realizing the goal, happiness, connection, peace is available right now.
Precisely. But Alessandro doesn't just leave it at philosophy. He pushes Alessio into physical experience again, with surfing.
Another item on the memento mori list. Does Alessio nail it?
Nope. He fails. Repeatedly. Can't get the hang of it. And this is actually crucial.
Why? Because he's used to succeeding intellectual.
Exactly. He prepares, he analyzes, he usually wins. But Alessandro gives him this amazing piece of wisdom. Surfing is not your dimension, and that's fine. You can't win at everything in life.
Wow. Permission to fail. Acceptance.
And it's huge for Alessio. Letting go of that need to master everything, to be perfect, it's a core part of shedding that old Milanese pressure.
Okay, so he's learning acceptance. What about that impossible list item, chapter 35?
Right, item 16, becoming a millionaire. He needs to go to the bank for something, finds it closed.
And the reason.
A handwritten sign. The branch is closed for the director's daughter's wedding. We reopen tomorrow. Pura Vida.
Huh. You'd never see that in Milan or London or New York.
Never. Can you imagine the chaos? But here it's just life, priorities. And it clicks for Alessio. That millionaire goal, it's totally irrelevant now. He feels richer here, living simply, than he ever could chasing money back home.
So he just checks it off the list.
Spontaneously decides it's done, replaces the financial goal with a spiritual one. Richness isn't about cash, it's about experience.
Okay, so he's really internalizing this stuff. Then comes a really intriguing encounter. As he drives towards Monteverde, he picks up a hitchhiker.
Acna, described as beautiful, exotic, and mysterious.
How so?
Well, soon after he picks her up, a local rancher pulls alongside and warns him, says Acna is a witch. From Escazú, a place known for legends.
Whoa, okay. Does she deny it?
Nope. She leans into it, claims she is a witch, and tells him about the Segua.
What's the Segua?
A local legend, a spirit often appearing as a beautiful woman who lures men who disrespect women or treat them badly. When they're alone with her, she transforms into a monster.
Oh.
Acna suggests some men fear her because they carry that disrespect within them. It's a really interesting commentary on fear, masculinity, and maybe projection.
So this encounter leads somewhere specific.
It leads to the absolute spiritual climax of his journey, the cacao ceremony, chapter 38.
Alka takes him there.
Yes, she leads him and some other travelers to this cave. There, they meet Pali, who seems to be Acna's grandmother, a kind of shamanic fair. She leads the ceremony.
What does it involve?
It's traditional. They use pure, potent, bitter cacao, not the sweet stuff we usually think of, plus fire, earth elements, the moon. The whole point is to dissolve emotional blocks. And cacao is known for working on the heart chakra.
The heart chakra, where he's tattooed it.
Exactly. He feels this intense heat right there on his sternum where the Pura Vida is inked, and the ceremony just unlocks everything.
The grief for his mother.
It all comes flooding out, but in a healing way. He processes her death, finally. Doesn't just remember it. He feels her presence like she's part of Pachamama, Mother Nature, surrounding him. He feels safe, understood, loved. That deep, isolating fear from his childhood. The vow never to cry. The wall he built, it just dissolves in that cave. It's the resolution of his core trauma.
Okay, so the cacao ceremony basically healed the deepest wound. The trauma is resolved. The wall is down. What's left for Alessio to confront?
The final relational piece. His father. Chapter 40. He calls him from Montezuma.
Montezuma. That's significant, isn't it? That's what the teenage exchange program he missed was supposed to be.
Exactly. Full circle. And he doesn't just make small talk about the weather. He's honest. He tells his dad about his lifelong fear, the fear of dying young that was rooted in his mom's illness.
And his father, the silent rock.
He breaks. For the first time, hearing his son's vulnerability, the father weeps. It's this huge breakthrough. The shared grief, suppressed for decades, finally finds an outlet. The connection is reestablished.
That's incredibly moving. So emotional journey complete.
Yep.
Now he consolidates the lessons.
Yep. He pulls together all his notes, his experiences, and he finishes his book, titles it, naturally, La Pura Vida.
And that checks off another list item. Number 14, write a book.
Yeah.
Right before he turns 30.
Perfect timing. And in the book, he lays out his core findings. He distills everything he learned into 6 key pillars of the Pura Vida philosophy.
Okay, let's quickly run through those. These are like the actionable takeaways for anyone reading, right?
Absolutely. Pillar number 1, fear. Use memento mori, the thought of death, not to fuel anxiety, but to spur action. Make it a tool.
Got it. Number 2.
Passion. Do things with your whole heart. No more living halfway, like Elena said about the river. Go all in.
Makes sense. 3rd.
Slowness, lentezza. Learn from the sloth. Conserve energy. Stop overthinking everything. Realize frantic busyness isn't always productive.
Okay. 4th pillar.
Connection. This came from the cacao ceremony. Realize you're part of something bigger in nature, Pachamama. You're never truly alone, even after death. That combats the isolation.
Powerful. Number 5.
Simplicity. Cut back on unnecessary responsibilities, expectations. Follow the simplest path. Reject the complicated detours the businessman offered the fisherman.
And the final pillar, number 6.
Spontaneity. This is maybe the biggest one for Alessio. Act on instinct. Follow your heart, not just your worried mind. Embrace failure as better than the regret of inaction. As he puts it, you can live with scars, but not with a heart full of regrets.
Okay, fear, passion, slowness, connection, simplicity, spontaneity. That's the formula he discovered.
That's his Pura Vida.
Right.
And having defined it, he has to take one last leap to prove he truly lives by it. Chapter 42.
What does he do?
He acts completely spontaneously. Remember how he used to hate flying? Saw it as a loss of control?
Yeah.
Well, over the Christmas break, no hesitation, he books a flight to Koh Phangan, Thailand.
To find Elena.
To find Elena. He shows up at her yoga course.
What does he say? How does he explain himself?
It's simple. She notes he flew halfway across the world, something he never would have done before. He just says, yeah, that reluctance was perhaps simply fear of living.
Yeah.
He doesn't come with excuses or grand plans. He gives her a gift.
The book.
The manuscript, La Pura Vida. Proof that he actually did the work, that he changed.
And then?
Then, he stops thinking. The analysis paralysis that defined him, it's gone. He looks at her, feels the connection, and just acts on pure instinct.
He kisses her.
He kisses her. No plan for what happens next. No 5-year projection. Just living in that spontaneous moment, trusting, as his new philosophy dictates, that everything would turn out for the best.
Wow. From the anxious observer in the anthill to that, it's a complete reversal.
Yeah.
It really is an incredible journey. What strikes me is how Gotto structures it. Alessio gets all the advice early on, the test results, Giovanni's cynical wisdom, even the fisherman's story secondhand. But none of it lands until he confronts his own mortality.
Exactly. The knowledge was useless without the visceral experience. He had to face the fear of death head on, which, paradoxically, freed him up to finally tackle the much bigger fear of truly living. The action had to come first.
And if you zoom out, the book makes it clear that Pura Vida isn't really about Costa Rica, is it? It's not a place you go to find happiness.
Not at all. It's an internal shift, a mindset, a technology, as you put it earlier, for reordering your priorities. It's about consciously rejecting that yogurt paradox every single day.
Recognizing that the misery in Milan wasn't Milan's fault. It was his own internal state, the unprocessed grief, the fear, the choice to prioritize external deadlines over internal needs.
Yeah. The transformation was about moving from his head, where he was brilliant but impassible, stuck down into his heart. Literally the spot where he got the tattoo, the focus of the cacao ceremony, reconnecting with feeling, nature, connection, things that combat that deep isolation he carried since he was 16.
He basically had to live out his teenage memento mori list to overcome the fear sparked by his teenage trauma. He learned that knowledge only matters when you act on it, spontaneously.
And we're all living under that same clock, aren't we? The memento mori clock is ticking for everyone, whether we have a list written down or not.
Absolutely. Which brings us to the final thought for you, the listener, after this deep dive. Alessio pivoted by finally acting on his unlived dreams. He conquered regret.
So the question becomes, what single dream or opportunity or maybe even connection is sitting on your bottom shelf right now? The one without a hard deadline, the one the yogurt paradox keeps pushing aside.
What's the one thing you're going to start living today?